The secret sauce for minimal tracks, in my opinion, lays in the details. So how can we spice up textures and synth sounds so that they become more lively but without adding any new instruments to the actual track, so it doesn't get too busy in the arrangement? So in this video I want to break down 4 simple effects that I use often to make background and synth sounds more tacky, so that the whole track can benefit from it by sounding a little bit more complex, a little bit more fuller without adding any new instruments. Let's dive in. Hey friends, Silvano here from ruffinstudio.com. So the strategy that I follow is what I call layering with effects, which is just a made up stupid name that I came up with for myself. But basically it says, yeah, adding effects to keep the track still minimal, but without adding new instruments, samples, MIDI channels or synths, whatever it is, again, to keep it simple, not simple, but minimal. And yeah, that's the strategy behind it. And yes, I talked about this probably 1,000 times on this channel, but because it's so important in my opinion, I think important stuff needs to be said over and over again. And maybe you are fresh to this channel, maybe this is your first video, so maybe this helps you out if your track doesn't sound as full as you want it. So yeah, let's dive in to the session and have some fun. Hope it inspires and helps out. Okay, so before we start, I quickly want to mention my soft but snappy Rominimal Ableton Live Kick Template. You can grab it for free if you like. And also what I wanted to mention is a lot of people asking me about the Instant Minimal tool, and you can also get it when you opt in for that soft but snappy kick template. So the soft but snappy kick template is for free, and then you get the option for the Instant Minimal. You can join it or not. And by the way, it's a great thing to be on my email list, because I will do some exclusive stuff for email list subscribers only. For example, some Ableton Live projects now and then I will share them with my email list. Yeah, you basically hear about all the good stuff on my email list, and everything that is coming in this coming year and in the future. All the project files, masterclasses, whatever it is, gets first shared, or basically only shared via email. So really get on this list, and then you get a lot of benefits from that. Okay, so now let's dive into this little track. Maybe let's just play it quickly. So yeah, it's kind of a loopy track, but my focus point here is really the driving low end and stuff, but that's not the topic in today's video. What I want to share with you is more how I spiced up some different elements. So for example, let's start first with this kind of main synth part here. And the first tool that I want to mention is Filter Freak. I mentioned this probably a couple of times, but in a different context probably, but sometimes I really forget about tools and then I just stumble randomly over them by experimenting. So this happened to this Filter Freak. I haven't used it for quite a bit anyway, so this is the play. This is with the Filter Freak, sorry, without. Honestly, we could also automate that to make it a little bit more interesting, right? Just yeah, some thoughts here maybe I could do later on. So this really simple Filter Freak. And then I followed it with Looperator. I also showed you this a couple of times here. Tonal comp, that's a preset that I came up with. Yeah, let's have a listen with both together. I guess this tonalizer is really what makes the difference here. Basically those are just different effect slots filter, but this one is actually muted. Here 0, and here the tonal stuff, and also some reverb. And here's the second effect chain, also Looperator. And here's a preset that I use called Weird Modular Preset. Yeah, I don't know. Just came up with this randomly again. Something tonalizer, some comp filter kind of things, and reverb, and some loop repeats. But honestly, I just run with the randomize button and then I see what it spits out and then I adjust accordingly. Maybe let's give it a try. Just those two effects. And this crystallizer basically adds kind of another layer, if we listen here. And you can see the recycle button is automated here, bringing in some variation. Without it, dry signal. So up to now we didn't really added another instrument. We just used some effects to create kind of a layer of that instrument that is already there. And then what I did was I recorded it into an audio channel, sorry, and then I added some effects on there again. This one is the crystallizer recorded, and then I added this Looperator again. Preset, Space Legend, really dark, deep, mystical. Without it, it adds another layer. So we have one layer, two layer with the Looperator, and then I went with another layer with this effect chain that I came up in December, I guess. I call it Tonality Bell. Without it, it's muted. Did you hear that little? It's from the grain delay, I guess. And just by adding some little things here, I would say we can spice things really up, add some layers to already existing sounds. And let's go quickly through this effect chain here. So basically I have the corpus, and then I have a simple LFO that is randomized, and it plays with the decay of this corpus. Yeah, all randomly. Tune, amount, you can see the shape again, random. Tune, ratio, all those things randomly, but in this rate setting, so it's not really it's basically quantized, right, to the grid here. And then some simple grain delay and an EQ followed, so I cut the low ends so it doesn't really fucks around too much with the low end that we have already there with the kick and a kind of toms that serve as a bass line. And yeah, that's basically is all the stuff. So we have again Filter Freak on that main synth, on this one, and here is, by the way, another answer to this main synth. It's basically kind of a copy. here again, Looperator with the same modular preset that is on the other channel. And then here again, modular vibe effect. This basically is all Ableton Stock plugins: vocoder, frequency shifter, and grain delay. This actually adds a lot here, this frequency shifter. Yeah, hope you get the idea on how I spice things up a little bit in a simple way, kind of, right? Just adding some effects in the background and without actually adding anything new to the order of instruments to the actual project or to the tracks. Let's make a little experiment and assign keyboard shortcuts to all those fact chains that I just mentioned, and then we make a quick A/B on how the actual track actually changes. So let's do that quickly. Now everything is bypassed. Now let's bring it in. Something is missing somehow. Yeah, that's it. I hope you like it. I hope this inspires a little bit. Again, to sum it up, Filter Freak #1, Looperator with tonal comp filter and maybe some reverb settings, whatever. Doesn't really matter, just go and experiment if you have the tool. Other than that, there is also an Ableton Live pack that you can get. It's called Creative Extensions, and I would just experiment with some audio effects, MIDI effects in there. It's not exactly the same like Looperator, but kind of, yeah, it goes into the similar direction with some stepped reverbs and whatever. But I just use Looperator because I'm used to it and I get quick results with it. And then I have some own created presets, tonal bell with corpus, some grain delay and LFO modulating different parameters from this tonal, not tonal, but corpus effect from Ableton Live, and then of course crystallizer to add another layer, automating that recycle button. And of course on the Filter Freak we can also modulate stuff like I just showed you before. Yeah, hope this helps a little bit, inspires. And again, this project file and the one from last week from Vadim Oslov and one or two others, actually 4 project files, will be packaged into a 2022 limited Ableton Live project kickoff, whatever it is. I don't know how to call it yet, but the people on the list will hear about it. If you're not on that list, you better get on it, because that's my main communication tool, and in there you get all the good stuff that is not shared anywhere else, not shared on this channel, for example. So yeah, go and grab the soft but snappy Rominimal Ableton Live Kick Template, and then you're all set. Thanks again for your time, for watching, and yeah, hope you started the new year in a good way, and stay safe and healthy. All the best. Thanks again. Cheers.